Hello, everyone. My name is Paola Garibay, and today we are going to be walking through a step-by-step of the 2023 Source Grant application in English. To give a little bit of background, I am with the Berwyn Development Corporation, and we are one of the business support organizations that works directly with the Cook County Small Business Source to help spread awareness of the grant funds, as well as have one-on-one consultations with business owners like yourself. We help you with anything from marketing to access to capital, how to get certified as a minority or women-owned business, and several other topics. So we're going to jump right in. As you'll see on the right-hand side here, on my screen, I have the Source website pulled up for the 2023 Source Grant. So some key information to be aware of is that this grant is only open from July 20th to August 18th. So you've got about 19 days left to submit your application. The website and the grant application is available in both English and Spanish. Today we're going to jump into the English. So some other key information to know is how much funding is available. There's a total of $40 million available. And this is to help businesses recover from the pandemic. We're looking at hardest hit industries, which are outlined as entertainment, food service, hospitality, and transportation. And we're also looking at veterans. So grant amount, there's two types of grants. You are either eligible to receive $10,000 or $20,000. The first bracket would be for the 10K is if you made a revenue between $20,000 and $50,000. So that means also that if you did not make at least $20,000 in revenue for 2019, then you are not eligible for this grant. If you made over $50,000 in 2019 gross revenue, then you would be eligible to receive the $20,000. So on the website here, it just gives you that general information. There's also two quick explainer videos, which kind of runs through what we just did now in English and Spanish. Who can apply? Again, this is looking at businesses that are located in Cook County. So you must have been in operations prior to 2020 and remain still in operations in Cook County. You must have less than 20 full-time employees. And it will be looking again to prioritize businesses that were in hardest hit industries. So arts and entertainment, childcare, social assistance, hospitality, food and tourism, retail trade, transportation and warehousing, and also veterans. They are looking also at businesses specifically located in suburban Cook County, but everyone is eligible to apply and the funds will be dispersed on a lottery basis for those who submit a complete application and they do meet all of the eligibility requirements. Required documentation. Before you jump into the application, you should take a look at this list here. So they are asking for a valid form of identification. It could be any of the ones listed here, typical driver's license, real ID, state ID, and so on. You are going to need the full packet for your 2019 federal tax returns, as well as your 2022. And that is your business tax returns. You'll need a W-9 form that's signed and dated in 2023. So in the application, I believe there is a link where you can digitally fill one out, or you could also just fill a paper copy or PDF form out and upload it as an attachment with your application. And lastly, they're going to be looking for a proof of good standing with the state of Illinois. So if you're a sole proprietor, this does not apply to you, but you will be needing one if you're a corporation, LLC, S Corp, any other entity that is not sole proprietor will need a certificate of good standing. And you'll just need to take a screenshot of that. When you pull it up on the web, they're not asking for the actual certificate. That does cost money to obtain, so a screenshot will do just fine. And then tips for a successful application really is to make sure that you are submitting it complete with all of the required documents. You want to make sure that the documents you're submitting are clear, like, they're easy to read. You have your W-9, your ID, your tax returns, and your certificate of good standing. If you're missing any of those, you will be considered incomplete and your application will be dismissed. If you make a mistake the first time you submit an application, you are unfortunately unable to go back and edit it, so you would have to submit a brand new application. I know that they are going to be looking at all of the applications, so it's fine if you submit a secondary one, but it really is important to take a moment to make sure you have everything before you go ahead and click submit, double, triple check. Incomplete applications will not be considered for this grant. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the application section. You click apply here, and it will take you to the application screen. So here, again, same information on the left-hand side. Make sure that you know who's eligible, the documents that you need. Really everything we went over in the other screen. It also shares some information about the NAICS code and where you can go to figure out which one yours is. This is typically in your tax documents, but if you can't find it, you can self-identify using best judgment. And here's also that W-9 form, so you can do a DocuSign. If you click on this link, when we get to that section, we'll discuss. All right, so on the right-hand side here, the first section is going to be asking you information about your business, and you are going to be looking at your tax returns. Really, for most of this will be found there. Again, you do need to submit the complete packet. So your business legal name, you put that exactly as it's listed on your tax returns. If you have a DBA, you will go ahead and put that in line number 2. Are you the business owner referenced in the above question? Yes or no? If you are somebody who is applying on behalf of the business owner, then you would go ahead and I think you put the business owner's first and last name as well. You need to put the contact information for the business owner, not your own if you're again filling out on their behalf. So first, last name, email address, and a secondary line here to reconfirm the email address. It's very important that you take note of what you're entering here, because the communication from the grant administrators, grant reviewers is going to come to the email that you enter. So if there's a typo, you forgot the @Gmail or yahoomail.com, anything, if it's not a valid email, then you're not gonna know, if they're missing information or if you got the award. And if you don't respond, then you're unfortunately not gonna get the funds. So please pay close attention and make sure you're entering a valid email address for both lines. You'll go ahead and enter the primary telephone number, and this is again where the business owner can be contacted. Please make sure it's a valid number and one that they're going to be looking at often or have handy. Next section, address of the business. So the physical location of the business should be entered here. And if there's a secondary, like a unit or suite number, put that in secondary address line. City, state, zip code. This again should be from a drop-down menu here. They give you the cities and towns, suburbs that are part of Cook County. So take a look at that list there. Should be in Illinois. If it's other, then you're not eligible for this grant. And then your zip code as well. So you can start to put in a number here and it will give you a suggestion. So for example, Berwyn will pop up. Just make sure you're putting the correct address there. 14 and 15 are eligible. I'm sorry, they're not required. So if you want to share your business website, you can drop that in here, as well as social media accounts. So if it's Instagram or Facebook, you can go ahead and put your handle. So they give you an example here at Cook County for Twitter. So if you're going to put your Instagram handle at Cook County, Instagram. Is your business majority owned by a veteran? So that would be 51% or greater. If you are a veteran and you're the sole business owner, yes. If you are a veteran and you're in partnership with another person who is not a veteran, then if you're 50-50, that answer would be no. If it's 51% or more in your ownership, then you would be yes, or again, this is unknown or prefer not to answer. Question number 17 asks you to identify the tax classification for your business. So here is where you'll be able to find this information on your tax return, usually right at the top if you don't know where that is. You indicate whether you're a sole proprietor, if you are a single member LLC, C Corp, S Corp, partnership, LLC. Please select one of the ones. Number 18, it is asking for your EIN, your employee identification number. So that is also on your tax returns. You can find that information there. And if you do not have an EIN, You can enter your social security number if you're a sole proprietor. That's also a valid number to use here. And if you have neither of those, but you're an ITIN, then you can use the ITIN number here. Number 19, it's just gonna ask you to enter that number one more time, so please double check and make sure everything's correct there. Question number 20 is asking if you're a for-profit entity. You should be if you're applying for this grant. If you're a non-for-profit, then you're not eligible, so please hit yes. And then the next question, did you make your first sale prior to 2020? This is again looking to confirm that you were in operations prior to 2020. 2022, I'm sorry, question number 22, has your business experienced a negative impact due to the pandemic? So this could be, decrease in revenue or gross receipts, greater financial insecurity, and or increased costs. One of the, several causes there or effects of the pandemic. So yes, no. If you were not impacted, then you're not eligible for this grant. Number 23, asking for you to declare how many permanent full-time employees your business had in 2019. So this should be full-time employees that you have on your W-2 for your payroll. So if you have part-time employees, or if they're contract employees, then you do not include those. You would include yourself as a business owner for one, and then any full-time employees, again, that you have on a W-2. 24 is asking the same question, but for the year of 2022. So indicate how many full-time employees in 2022. Excuse me. Question number 25 is asking you to input the gross revenue in 2019. So here it gives you some instructions for where to find this information on your tax returns. If you're a corporation, it should be on your Form 1120, page 1, line 1A. For partnerships, Form 1065, so on and so forth. So this is really easy, guides you through how you can go ahead and find that information. Number 27 is asking for your North American Industry Classification System, so NAICS code. And this is, again, something that you should be able to find in your tax returns. You can also get the instructions here on where to find that information. And then you'll go ahead and input that number. The next section, number 2, is for your document uploads. And this is where you're going to go ahead and drop in the files that you've prepared for the application. So it'll be your federal tax returns for 2019 and 2022, as well as your valid form of identification, your W-9 form signed and dated, and then your certificate of good standing. So if you don't have that W-9, again, you can look on the left-hand side here and scroll down. So under important links, there gives you, like I mentioned, the North American Industry Classification System. So you can go look up your number there, but here specifically looking at the W-9 form, you can go ahead and right-click on this link, and it will take you to a DocuSign where you go ahead and enter the information, your name, your email, and then begin signing. It'll ask you for the information for that specific sheet, or you can download a blank form from the IRS website, and you can also click through this link here. It'll take you to the form. You can print, download this, or fill it out electronically and download it. And once you save it as a PDF, then you'll be able to go ahead and attach it to your application. So this is what the W-9 looks like, the information it asks you for. You'll need your social security or EIN number, You can also put an ITIN number if you don't have that EIN. Going back to the application here, so you'll go ahead and attach your documents. You will need, again, the full packet for 2019 and 2022 on the tax returns. So make sure that those are uploaded properly before you go ahead and attach them here. For your state ID or your driver's license, whatever valid identification you're using, please make sure you use the front and back. So you're going to need a copy of the front and back of the identification. And your certificate of good standing, again, it could just be a screenshot. If you don't know where to find that, that is also a resource that's listed here on the left-hand side under important links. If you do to obtain proof that your business is in good standing with the state of Illinois, you would click this. Takes you to the Illinois Secretary of State website. You're going to search the database here. It will ask you information about your business. It does say purchase, but again, you don't need to download it. So you can just take a screenshot when it shows you the proof. You would put your business name or your file number or whatever information you have handy when you are searching, click submit, and then it should populate for you. Additional information about document uploads. So number 31, oh, sorry, we skipped one here. Number 29, are any of the documents password protected? If they are, then you would put yes, and I believe you can indicate any key codes under number 31 for your document information, or no. I think preferably no, so that they can access them. If you have any other details to share on number 31, you would put them here in this box. So for example, if you changed, business address from 2019 to 2020, and your tax return show two different addresses, you would indicate that here. They'll just be looking again to confirm that it's still the same business operating under the same corporation or sole proprietorship, and that it's still within Cook County. So they will look at that, just share any information that should be taken a closer look at. And then section 3, we're almost done. This is where you're going to share your bank account information. So the point of this is to have all this information up front. If and when you get selected to be a grant recipient, then they will deposit the funds directly through an ACH or electronic transfer in the information that you provide on this application. So you'll need your bank name here, for example, Chase Bank, the bank account holder name, exactly how that's listed on your account. You're going to need the routing number. That's a 9-digit. You can usually look that up on Google for your bank. For example, Illinois Chase Bank routing number. You can do a quick search and it'll pull it up. And then 34A, it's asking you to input that number again, confirm. Number 35, your bank account number, so that you'll need to pull up from your bank statement or your online statement is where you can find that. And number 36, double checking that the number is the same, because again, this is the information they're going to be using when they're looking to deposit funds if and when you get selected to receive this money. Number 37, you'll have to go ahead and select which type of account this is, be it checkings or savings, and then you should be all done with that part. Section number 4, agreements. This is you attesting that all the information you submitted in the previous questions is true and to the best of your knowledge. So, for example, here you're for profit, you made your first sale prior to 2020, you have less than 20 permanent full-time employees, so on and so forth. Number 38 will be a digital signature. So you can just go ahead and type in your name, and then the date here, calendar will pop up, and you can pick the date that you're submitting the application and when this was signed. Number 40 is required whether you accept to be added to the Cook County Small Business Source mailing list. And that's to keep you informed on any upcoming opportunities or events that they're being hosted with business resources for you. So you can agree or decline, and then enter the email address. If you're agreeing, enter the email address here. If you're declining, then you can just leave that section blank. Section number 5 is optional, and this is business owner demographics. So this information is really just trying to collect data to see who is applying for the grants, So you can do the optional, take the exit survey, or you can skip the exit survey, and you can just indicate that one way or another, it is required. And then research questions, again, take the survey or skip the survey. I believe if you click on here, it may, populate more questions. So it'll be asking you for race and ethnicity, if it's minority owned by a, woman, member of LGBT community, person with disability. So that's the kind of questions that are asking, but again, completely optional. You can just hit skip survey if you don't want to take it. And then similarly for the research questions, you can click take survey and it will populate a couple other questions asking you what you anticipate to use the funds for, the challenges that your business is facing, and if you've applied for funding in the past. So that kind of questions here, wanting to see what the need is, where these funds are going to be going towards, but again, completely optional. So if you choose not to, you can skip the survey. And that would be it. So then once you hit the thank you section, you've got everything. You have to click this box here to confirm that you've uploaded the 5 required documents. Again, that's your valid form of ID, 2019 and 2022 tax returns, a W-9 signed and dated in 2023, and proof that your business is in good standing with the state of Illinois. Once you go ahead and check that box, then that means you're done. But there's one more box to check here, is if you'd like to receive a copy of the responses submitted, you can go ahead and click this box and enter your email address. That is where they'll go ahead and send you a copy of the application. Now, before you hit submit, I strongly encourage you all to scroll back up to the beginning of the application and just take another 2 to 5 minutes to make sure you didn't miss any of the boxes, the required fields, make sure you spelled everything right. Double, triple check your email address, phone number, and really your bank account information as well, EINs, all of that. Just take a couple extra minutes to make sure everything is ordered. And then once you are done and you feel confident that your responses are good and true, you can go ahead and hit submit. And that will be all. If anyone has questions or needs to schedule a one-on-one assistance session, the Berwyn Development Corporation is hosting free assistance. You can schedule a one-on-one with somebody from our team. You can come into our office, bring all of your documents, and we will scan them in for you. So I'm going to drop in the chat here a link to our landing page with information about the grant. And then specifically, if you are looking to schedule a free one-on-one session, I'm going to drop the link there. If anyone wants to reach out to me or my colleagues on my team, we can help schedule a one-on-one, and that would be here. So that is all. If anyone has any questions, I'll also put my information in the chat, and you can contact me directly. We will be more than happy to assist. Okay. Thanks everyone for your time, and best of luck with your applications.